G'day, I'm Colin Wilson. I'm the bass guitarist with the Australian Pink Floyd Show. We're talking today to Music Radar. So we're just going to go through my on-stage gear that I use, starting with my basses, of course. I use Fender Precision basses. This is the main one. It's an early 80s Japanese Precision. It's nothing special, but it does have a particular tonal quality that works really well with the Floyd stuff. It's got a really nice kind of peak in the low mids, so it gives it that really nice woody precision sound, which is perfect for the Floyd stuff. I have these hip shot bass extender keys on all of them so that I can do the drop D stuff. A lot of the stuff on the wall has got a low D in it, so I can just flick that down and it gives me the D. Stuff like Run Like Hell is in D, so I can just drop that down and I've got the D string there. So that's all pretty standard stuff. This one's the main one. As I said, it's been everywhere with me. I refer to it as the bass that bought the house. And over here I've got one called Guy. This one I use for another brick in the wall because it's got a slightly different tonal quality, but again it's a standard Jap Fender. This is like the 50s reissue Fender with the gold anodized pickguard. It's got a badass bridge on it. Again, it's got the hip shot and it's got Guy Pratt's signature on the back there. He signed it for me. So that's like the second, the spare, but I only really use that in another brick in the wall at the moment on this tour. And then from here we go into my pedal board. So this year I've just started using this new Boss GT10, which is actually a guitar effects pedal board, but actually all the Floyd stuff was produced when there wasn't dedicated bass guitar effects, so using the guitar effects board works better. So I've got all my EQs in there, plus effects like delays and things for one of these days, and some phasey things for some of the animals stuff. I've got it set up so that you've got two control pedals here that can bring in and out different effects. I've got it set up so the control 2 pedal always goes to a mute. So I've got the tuner, and then this extra tuner is constantly in the system. So even when we're not muted, and we're using, in this case, we've got the time bricks kind of sound, this tuner is still active, so while I'm playing I can still see that I'm in tune. In between songs I can mute everything. If I just, so we're on here, that mutes everything, so I'm just in tuning mode in between songs and for changing basses and things. So it's all pretty straightforward. Everything is in there. Beginning of Happiest Days of Our Lives. You've got that delay on there. And then we've got things in there like the big effects one for bass is One of These Days, of course. So we've got the... So that's all in there. It's just a matter of playing in time with it. That's the only challenge really. You've got to stay in with your delay speed. And then in the middle of that we've got a sound with a phaser on it. And then I can also bring in this thing which is like a gate sort of switching on and off, which makes it really choppy. So that's fun, and that's during the concert that's kind of panned around in the quad PA, so that those sort of sounds can sort of come from the back of the room and the front and move around, so that's fun. So that's basically the pedal board. Everything's in there, all the EQs for the different songs are in there. I've got things that make it sound a little bit older for the old stuff and then brighter for the newer stuff. And from there we go back to the amp rack. It goes into the back there, and there's a very simple passive DI box that's sending a send straight to the front of house. And then there's a splitter that's just like an AB splitter that goes to these two amps. So basically this Ashdown amp is the one I'm using. This is a spare. I can literally unmute that and it'll start working, so it's constantly in the chain of events. It's just there if this if the top amp goes down for some reason, which it doesn't because it's Ashdown and it's amazing. So that's all there, and then I've just got the cabs, which is just my on-stage sound. This isn't doing anything front of house, this is purely my monitoring on stage. I've got the 15 and the 10s there, nice little cabs, down low so that I'm not obstructing anything else on the stage. That's the prerequisite for those. And that, very simply, is my bass rig.